The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the producers and the individuals appearing on this program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the staff of the Sun Prairie Media Center, its members or underwriters, the board members of the Media Center Commission, Charter Communications, TDS Telecom, or the staff and elected officials of the City of Sun Prairie.
Hello and welcome to Real Reviews. My name is Jameson Rabbit, and the man seated next to me is developing a new superhero character called the Human Bubbler. His name is Mike Roth.
What you do is you drink out of him. He's only a superhero in Wisconsin. He goes to places where people are really thirsty, and he goes, "I'm the Human Bubbler."
Yeah.
And they question him for a while because no one knows what that is outside the Wisconsin area.
I like this.
That is the whole movie. There is no other plot. There's no villain.
You amaze me.
Just him describing how a bubbler works.
You're a national treasure.
Yeah.
You're quick. I'll give you that.
What can I do?
All right, sir. And you, not just for you, but the other people can have this too. We have a bunch of movies to talk about on the marquee, as well as a throwback movie. So I'm going to get us started with what we have on the marquee this week. The first movie that I saw this week was a film called 47 Meters Down, Uncaged.
What?
Oh, you'll wish you were in a cage. I wish I was somewhere else. From director Johannes Roberts, this stars 4 teen girls who are diving into some Mayan ruins deep under the sea. And they bump into great white sharks amongst the ruins. We have some notable names in here. Sophie Nélisse plays Maya. Corinne Fox, who is Jamie Foxx's daughter, plays Sasha. And Sistine Rose Stallone, who's Sly's daughter, plays Nicole.
And Jamie Foxx has been shilling this show. He has a little thing, "See my daughter," kind of thing.
And, you know, they're underwater. There's great white sharks everywhere. All your favorite familiar gimmicks from these movies come into play. The "I'm almost out of air," so we're constantly checking the air gauge throughout the movie. The two-way the radio for communication keeps crackling in and out. Every time you need somebody, they can't hear you. That flashlight, that's going to be on the fritz when you need it, right?
Oh yeah, always.
Those flashlights, if you hit them, maybe they'll get them to work underwater.
It's the thing with all shark movies.
Yeah.
What about the hallucinations?
No hallucinations so much.
Oh, well, there you go. Something different. They took something out.
They added something different in a constant use of slow-mo in this movie. Tons of slow-mo. I don't know if it was to try and build some fake drama into it. It felt like a bad Zack Snyder cut of a movie, or it's like anytime there's going to be some action, we need slow-mo. We need to see the water slowly moving as she's doing anything, really literally
anything.
So much slow-mo in this movie. And, I've said before, I'm a sucker for a shark movie, good, bad, or otherwise. I didn't care for the first 47 Meters Down.
No, it was a very bad movie.
This was much worse. This made me long for the days of the first movie. The sharks in this movie looked awful, like really bad.
Yeah.
And you started to realize, I'm watching it, like, wow, we're really not seeing the shark very much. It's a lot of quick shots of a shark. Boom. Because every time they showed an extended shot of the shark, it looked like the cast was swimming in an aquarium and they were showing a shark movie behind it. Like, they looked very separate from each other and did not look right. We also have the fact that this stars, 4 young females, and it's made very apparent that the girls, anytime something goes wrong, they act hysterical. Oh, they're nuts. Luckily, there's always a guy to come in who's very cool and level-headed. Girls, don't worry. I got this figured out. It's just, it repeated itself 3 times in this movie, that scenario of, you girls are just freaking out for no reason. Don't worry, I'm a dude. I got you.
But of course, he has to be wrong.
Well, of course, yeah. There's a scene in this movie where they're underwater. One of their father, John Corbett, plays one of the dad. And he's down there like doing something amongst the Mayan ruins, like welding. Him and his team are welding some stuff. and there's a boombox down there
Okay.
playing music, crystal clear. You can hear it across the ocean, underwater. I'm not sure how this works.
Okay.
It's playing some rock music.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point, something happens and the radio changes channels. And now it's playing a rock set. And as the girl's trying to figure out what's going on, you see a shark just floating over her shoulder. And I'm like,
Winking?
did the shark change the channel? Like, what is going unexplained? She's all by herself at this point, and now the radio station changes.
Oh, really, the first movie, we both agreed, was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I like shark movies, too. I wish they could make a Shallows Part 2. That was the
Yeah.
last great shark movie that we've reviewed.
This one was bad actors, horrible script, and atrocious effects. Like, all bad things. The first one was stupid.
Yeah.
This one was embarrassing to watch. Like, I was embarrassed to be sitting in the theater watching this. I was embarrassed for everyone involved. It was just really bad. This is among the list of my least favorite movies of the year.
So you shouldn't be embarrassed. You have a good excuse. You have to see
well,
these because you review
I was the only one in
movies.
the theater watching it.
Everybody else made a choice.
Yeah. They sure did. They made the correct choice. And thus, 47 meters down, Uncaged gets a half a star from me.
Oh, that is one of your
Yeah, it's near the
lowest
top of the list
scores.
this year for bad movies.
Well,
Do not see this.
Thank you very much for taking the hit on that one.
Yeah,
My
pleasure.
I took a hit
Yeah?
because we both agreed that the first Angry Birds was a terrible movie.
Yeah.
They changed the director.
Oh, what do we got?
Yeah, so we got Throwback Van Orman. He is doing the new Angry Birds 2 movie based on the very popular app game.
That app was popular like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's not as popular anymore. We're back to it. This takes place soon after the events where Red saves the island from the pigs. Everybody still loves Red because he is protecting them. They got this back and forth battle. And nothing dangerous, like pies and stuff like that, but still, they don't like each other. Problem is now there's a new nemesis, the Eagles. Separate island, they shoot ice balls. I didn't mention, Throwback Van Orman, he is the new director of this. He's also the inventor of Flapjack, if you know that, and he's also written for
He invented
Adventure.
Flapjacks?
No, the Marvelous Adventures of Flapjack, if you
Okay.
remember that. So this
I'm hungry
movie,
for
even
Flapjacks.
yeah, now I'm hungry. So this movie, even though it has some of the same tired, born to fail jokes in the beginning, they have a new spin. Everything is very random and awkward. You can't really predict where certain jokes are going, and some moments are just so absurdly weird that it becomes enjoyable. I like this movie. I wish they could have erased all the stuff that happened in the last movie because some of those jokes still came up. The baby voices,
boy.
oh my God, and
Yeah.
all these really cliche, born to fail jokes. They still made it into this one. And still the premise of the Angry Birds being a movie just boggles my mind.
Right.
But in this one, it kind of pulled through a little bit. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed how crazy everything was and random. I couldn't figure out which way things were going. And once you figured out something, they just kind of turn it around. In this one, they go up against the Eagles, who is evil leader. Debbie is the one who's shooting these ice bombs at people from her volcano. The pigs and the birds work together to try to defeat that situation. There's a romance. There's a couple of romances. Red tries to find a girlfriend and speed dating.
Right.
It was enjoyable, and I
Wow.
was not expecting to say this. I don't recommend it for everybody.
Yeah.
But if you have to see Angry Birds and you've seen the sequel or the first one, I think you might be pleasantly surprised.
How about that? What did you give this movie?
I gave it a week 3.
Okay. That's fair.
It
That's
is.
way better
It
than I
is
was
g-
expecting.
It is good in
Yeah.
comparison to what I was
I
expecting.
think we might have given like 1.5s or 2s to the first one.
I don't think I made it to a 2.
Yeah,
I think it
yeah.
was like 1 or 1.5. It was a
Yeah.
real stinker. But this one threw in enough original random material where I thought it was Watchable. Better
Nice.
than watchable.
We like watchable.
Mm-hmm.
The next film I have on the marquee this week is the newest film from writer-director Richard Linklater. It's called Where'd You Go, Bernadette? It stars Cate Blanchett as Bernadette. She's a woman who was a brilliant architect back in the day, and she's found herself withdrawing from outside interactions, becoming more anxiety and depression riddled. Her personality has gone from big and fun to abrasive and cruel, actually. She makes her daughter, B, played by Emma Nelson, the center of her world. Pretty much the only person who sees any form of kindness is her daughter. And this is to the detriment, obviously, of her relationship with her husband, played by Billy Crudup. And he's becoming very concerned about her, his wife, who he sees as being not who he married. As the warning signs get bigger, kind of literally and figuratively in this movie, his concerns turn into action, and we get almost an intervention of sorts, where all her missteps kind of collide together. She's also been battling the next door neighbor through a good chunk of this movie, played by Kristen Wiig. And,
she pops up everywhere,
yeah,
doesn't she?
so she's kind of going to battle with her and everyone, all of her friends and all of the moms from B's school, who she thinks are all just like the type of parents that she can't stand. And so she calls them gnats. And she just can't, she's not nice to anyone.
She seems horrible.
She kind of is. And so after this intervention and kind of all of these things, not just to mention this, but some other things that are revealed in this, intervention, that bad things are all coming together, and she decides to run away. She takes off. Thus, where'd you go, Bernadette? And she is gone, and she is looking for a place to escape her problems and to kind of reconnect with the old version of herself, to kind of rediscover what went wrong. Where did this all turn? And it's a great cast. Like Lawrence Fishburne is also in this.
Yeah.
Great. Judy Greer's in this as the therapist. She's great. Cate Blanchett, not surprisingly, incredible in this movie. Like, she's great in this movie as someone who's unlikable, yet you're rooting for her. That's kind of a tough thing to pull off.
Okay.
Billy Crudup is really good in this movie. And some of this movie kind of hit on some emotions of guilt and depression and anxiety over that guilt. That kind of hit close to home for me. It worked. And I think Richard Linklater, as a director, kind of excels on writing and directing and writing real emotions and kind of making people that are kind of like enhanced versions of people you know. You're like, you know what, I think I kind of know somebody like that. They're not quite like that, but
actually,
dial up to 11.
He's
but
actually sued for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
I enjoyed this movie. I think Cate Blanchett is like one of the best actresses we have, and can kind of do anything. And in her manic state, she has a lot to do in this movie, and I really dug that. So, yeah, it's interesting. It like the final 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't love. It kind of went down a path and got a little, I don't know, syrupy that I felt was kind of undeserved. I was like, okay, this is like, and it took forever. Like, you could see, like, okay, this is how this is going to wrap up.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, we're going to take our sweet time getting there, though, But outside of that, I thought the movie was really good. And so I gave Where'd You Go, Bernadette 3.5 out of 5 stars.
That sounds decent.
It's worth checking out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
What's the next movie that you have for us, sir?
We have the one that we saw
Hey!
at the same time. Yeah, we're going to be able to both.
We can have a discussion.
Good Boys, which is the biggest comedy right now, directed by Gene Subnitsky.
Sure.
We have 3 boys. They're part of the Beanbag Club.
They're
the Beanbag Boys. They're a little self-made club of local kids that happen to live really close to each other, and they all like each other, and they play these games and stuff like that. The boy, played by Brandy Noon, Keith Williams plays Lucas. He is going to a kissing party. He doesn't know how to kiss, so they decide.
Jacob Tremblay is going to the kissing party.
Oh, you're right.
Max.
You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But either way, yes, Lucas is a different guy. Max, he's going to a kissing party. He needs to learn how to kiss because he's going to kiss Brixley, which is his crush, Miley Davis.
Yeah.
They decide they're going to spy on the neighbor who happens to have a boyfriend.
High school girl. She's going to kiss.
She's going to kiss someone. So they get the dad's drone, which he's not supposed to touch, and the drone gets broke. So after that, it's a big misadventure to replace the drone, try to get to the party, friends learning
Maybe
about,
score some Molly along the way.
Maybe score some Molly, take it to the schoolyard, buy more Molly. They do a lot of adventurous-like things. Now, the height of, I think, this movie, for me, I think it's... I feel like they're really pushing that they're making kids do really kind of blue material.
Yeah, it's an R-rated comedy.
Yeah, a lot of sex jokes, a lot of sex toy jokes, kids being able to swear. I didn't get the adventure as much as I wanted to. I got more of, this is supposed to be funny because these kids are, playing with adult toys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard for me to get into the movie like I wanted it to. There's a couple of chuckle parts, but I found myself getting bored with the adventure.
Wow. I was the opposite of that.
Yeah?
There were several moments where myself and my friend that I brought along were laughing out loud, like elbowing each other laughing.
This is what we do.
I mean, you know exactly what this is. If you watch any of the trailer, you know exactly what you're getting into. It's an R-rated comedy. It's, shocking, I guess, but you get past it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because I have heard some people talking about, like, oh, man, it's terrible. They make these kids say this. Like, obviously, you don't have any 13-year-olds. Because if you think that 13-year-olds aren't talking like this when you're not around, then you're very sheltered.
And technically, they've been doing this since, the early 80s?
Yeah, I mean, this is
Goonies is everybody's favorite movie.
Yeah, this is not that shocking.
Yeah.
My favorite character is the guy you mentioned, Lucas.
Yeah.
I thought Lucas was great. Keith L. Williams plays him. He was by far my favorite character. He was the one character in this movie that he was true to himself. He was true to his morals. He was the angel on Max's shoulder when his buddy Thor was the devil. Like, there was one scene where it's literally Max in the middle and one of them standing on either side of him going, you shouldn't do this. Like, no, you got to do it. Like, I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
You got to do it. Like, I thought he was great. And like I said, he was the only character that wasn't deep down a terrible person. Every person in this movie is doing terrible things.
True.
They're willing to do whatever.
Max
score Molly or to do this or do that or anything.
Max looks like the sweetest kid, but really out of everybody, he's
a
the
sociopath.
worst. Yeah, he's terrible.
And that's why I love Lucas, because Lucas is like, don't do it, Max.
Yeah.
No, this is a bad idea. I thought that was pretty good.
I did like his stance on drugs and how he's trying to talk to teenage girls to walk away from the false sense of reality.
He cracked me up all the time. The Beanbag Boys kind of, I like that because it kind of hits on some moments that, of that age. And they're, when the girls explains to them, like, yeah, you guys are 13, you're all best friends because your parents are friends and you live next to each other. And your friends have to be somebody within a close proximity because how far can you get on your Huffy,
Yeah.
Are you going to be friends in the future? Are you really going to be lifelong friends? I thought that was kind of interesting. And like I said, I laughed out loud a lot. I kind of enjoyed this. I love anytime you get like kids this age, and I love it hearing it from my kids as they're growing up.
Yeah.
These 12-year-old kids who are talking like authorities on adult subjects, even though they don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But they know a morsel. They heard a morsel of something, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know all about this. Let me tell you." That always cracks me up. And you had a really cool cast in here. Will Forte plays one of Max's dad.
I liked his character. He didn't show up very much.
Yeah,
I
none
loved
of the parents
his
really
beginning scene where he figures out what Max is doing, and it makes it the most awkward moment ever.
Awkward.
Can't really talk about it.
You also had Lil Rel Howery and Retta as Lucas's parents who were going through a divorce, and the way he deals with that. I don't know. I thought this movie was like sweet and adorable for a movie that dealt with the subject matter that it did. I don't think it landed every joke.
No,
but it got me coming and going.
Maybe it was the repetition of the
There were a
jokes.
couple of them that were very repetitive jokes, and you could see coming down the tracks.
And a lot of them felt awkward, and maybe that's what made me stall from the enjoyment of it. I I don't know, because there's movies out there that are similar to this. It just didn't feel like I was beating me over the head constantly. This one, it felt like it was beating me over the head, and I couldn't. I feel like that what kept me from enjoying the adventure of it.
Oh, that's too bad. That's
Yeah.
too bad.
Sorry.
What did you end up giving Good Boys?
I give it 2.5. I believe it's watchable,
Yeah.
but I don't say it's great or awful. It's just there.
I give
for
it a
me.
4.
I'm glad you enjoyed it that
I'm
much.
laughing out loud, if
Yeah.
I'm being the idiot who's like elbowing somebody, like, oh my god, then it's a 4 to me.
Okay, I guess I did like that cop scene a lot.
Cop scene was great,
Yeah,
especially when the cop's like, please don't make, come on, man,
just go,
walk away.
I'm trying to go home.
for 20 straight hours. Don't make me fill out paperwork. That was good. So for our movie throwback this week, since summer camp is over and we are in between launching our new series, this week we have a good old-fashioned movie throwback segment, and we are throwing back to 1993 for another Richard Linklater film, his second movie that he made after Slackers.
Yeah.
He got together what I would call perhaps one of the greatest casts of young actors. Like pulled together all these people who this was like their first movie.
Yeah, and they all became awesome afterwards.
We're talking about Dazed and Confused, obviously. Linklater wrote and directed it. This was Matthew McConaughey's first film. He discovered Matthew McConaughey. He pulled a young Ben Affleck, who at this point had only been a background character in School Ties. I was like, I need you to be an idiot in my movie. Mila Jovovich, hey, let's see if you can act.
And then let's see you do Resident Evil a bunch of times. See, she can't really act very well, but she is a very big name.
She is a big name. It's the adventure of a group of high school and junior high students on the last day of school, 1976. For my money, this has one of the great opening scenes, like most memorable scenes for me. Aerosmith's Sweet Emotion playing as we're just touring through the campus, following people along. It just feels like 76 to me.
I don't know why, and this is going to make me sound lame. Didn't really care for Dazed and Confused. There was a bunch of movies that were similar to this at the time. It was the 90s, so
Stone Age.
Yeah, Stone Age was the one I chose over this.
Really?
One. Yeah, I know, it's
I
weird.
like Stone Age.
I like them
boy.
running around and they got the big
got the
bottle of
Schnapster.
Fleischmann's and schnapps.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know. This one had more depth in it,
Yeah.
and that threw me off, I guess, at a young age. It was 93. I was 18.
This movie is in the top 5 most rewatched movies for me because around this time, well, not around this time, but a couple years later, when I moved out, this was like one of like 8 VHS tapes that I'd had in my apartment. And so every night it was like, you want to watch Twister, Tommy Boy, or Dazed and Confused? What are we watching? It was Dazed and Confused was quite often the choice. And I feel like I know this movie upwards and down.
I guess Linklater, he got sued by classmates because it was too close to real people.
You got to
like
make
you
it an
mentioned earlier.
amalgamation of people. You can't just take direct people.
Yeah, that's you, Stinky. You're going to be this guy.
Yeah, I like one of the things I like about this movie is how he broke it down. It's a high school movie. He broke it down into cliques, but then it didn't just live within that world of cliques.
Yeah.
You saw that, there was fluidity to those cliques that, and how they interacted. And he created one of the most long-standing characters in Wooderson with Matthew McConaughey's character.
Yeah.
I mean, Matthew McConaughey went ahead, had a really good career, right?
Oh,
Won an Academy Award a few years ago. What's the first thing he does when he gets handed the award? He goes, all right, all right, all right. I mean, that's enduring, that role of Wooderson. Like I said, this is a cast that in 2019, a lot of filmmakers would be like, oh, whatever, I'll do whatever to get that cast.
Yeah.
Give me those actors. I'll have a pretty good flick. Yeah. Pretty good stuff. I like Dazed and Confused. Should we cover Stone Age next time?
Probably not.
I rewatched that recently.
I also really like Detroit Rock City.
Detroit Rock City?
Yeah.
The great Edward Furlong.
Yes.
Boy, one of his 3 movies.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
I don't know what's wrong. Pull that quote. We're going to use that in a future episode. That's going to be our big clip episode.
Yeah,
I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay, well, let's take a look at what is coming soon. The weekend of August 30th, Buckle in, kids. It's going to be a bumpy ride this weekend. We have a movie called The Fanatic. Mike, you know what The Fanatic is?
No.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Oh, thank you.
It is a movie directed by Fred Durst.
Oh, no.
Huh?
This is already sounding horrible.
Starring John Travolta.
Is it based on a game app?
No, it is a
Okay.
film about a rabid film fan played by Devon Sawa. Remember him from Idle Hands?
Yeah.
Yeah, haven't heard of him in a while.
No.
Well, he's back, and he plays a rabid film fan who is stalking his favorite actor, John Travolta. Directed again by Fred Durst.
Is this coming to major theaters?
I would doubt major theaters.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
But
does
it's
not.
coming out.
It sounds unique, but not like I want to spend 2 hours unique.
No, not at
Fred
all.
Durst.
Fred Durst.
Yeah.
You know, people tell me if I wear my red hat backwards, they start calling me Fred Durst. I don't care for that kind of humor.
No, that is wrong. Some people call me George Lucas.
Those people are the worst. And the second movie we have that weekend is a film called Don't Let Go. It stars David Oyelowo. It's the thriller where his family may or may not be dead.
This
His
looks
family's
this
dead.
looks
His
really
niece comes
interesting.
back, maybe? Question mark?
like a time thing
Yeah,
going
like,
on.
are we living
It's
in
like,
an alternate thing?
By the way, I'm 2 weeks in the future.
Yeah,
Where are
he has
you?
time to track down and maybe stop the events?
Yeah.
Question mark? I'm not sure how you do that.
It looks really interesting. It's a Blumhouse, isn't it?
Is it? It might be.
I believe so. So there's going
Well-
to be a little bit of horror. And Blumhouse tends. Sometimes it's bad, but you know they try to put.
They go
quality
for
in
it, though.
And they also did Ouija
Well,
and.
okay.
Yeah.
Before we leave, we have to thank our sponsor, though, the Palace Marcus Theaters here in Sun Prairie. You know, Mike, Marcus Theaters, the Palace and Point Cinemas are counting down to Frozen 2. Frozen 2 comes out in a couple of months, and they are counting down to that big moment when all little girls will be running in there with their Anna and Elsa dresses on, singing Let It Go. And they're doing that by reliving the magic of some Disney classics beginning September 6th.
Yeah, you're right.
So on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, the entire month of September, they will be featuring Disney classics. So first off, you'll have Moana, and then you can go see Cinderella, Peter Pan, and of course, The Little Mermaid. Admission is just $6. Shows are running all day. You can go in the morning, you can go at night, take the kids. Friday, Saturday, Sundays, the whole month of September.
Really? All day? The shows are playing?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's
believe
unique.
so.
Usually it's only.
They
a
said
show
multiple
or two.
showtimes a day.
Very cool.
So go check that out the month of September and celebrate Disney at the Palace and Point Cinemas. And just go check them out for all your movie needs because
Yeah,
I love me
they're
a Dream
awesome.
Laundry.
Apparently their Cheetos is addictive to too many people. I was able to get the Flaming Hot, but
They put something.
they run
in,
out of them
They
quickly.
put something in their Cheetos that makes you crave it fortnightly.
It's got to be meth.
The Colonel.
It's got to be.
I sat in a Dream Lounger. All 3 movies I reviewed today, I saw in one sitting.
Oh,
I mean, I moved theaters, but
yeah.
it was over the course of 6 hours. Those Dream Loungers will suck you in.
Yeah, they are.
It was all I could do to make it through 47 meters down.
I'm sorry.
Hour 6.
That's for the Dead Dog. We're even now.
Ah.
Yeah, Dead Dog movie.
The Dead Dog movie. Very good.
You get 47 meters down. You'll get the next one too.
I can't wait.
You're on a roll now.
Uh-huh.
I'll gladly take another Angry Bird.
Okay.
And they will make another.
They will, I'm
They
sure.
will make another of both of these.
I have no doubt. Next week, sir, we're going to have some movies called, like Peanut Butter Falcon, a movie that I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf's movie.
That looks pretty good.
Ready or Not, that's the hide-and-seek horror movie.
Super excited about that.
Keep it rolling with super excitement for Angel Has Fallen. Gerard Butler's going to save the president for a 3rd time.
Is it only the 3rd? It
Yeah.
feels like so many
We
more.
had Olympus Has Fallen. We had
London.
And
And-
now Angel. Hey, sports update. Look out. And the last movie we may have is Blinded by the Light, the Bruce Springsteen-ish
Yeah.
fun movie. So anyways,
movie.
fun movie. So those are the films we're going to have for you next week, as well as we're going to be starting a new Throwback series that you're going to want to check out. We're going to be talking about some interesting movies. Ernest may or may not appear in this. I'm not sure. We'll have to discuss if Ernest Goes to Jail makes the cut or not. Mike's shaking his head no.
No, we're done. We're done with that.
But until we meet again, I'm Jameson.
I'm Mike Roth.
Thanks for watching.